There's just 6 miles and 1 point between these two. This must be one of the closest games of the season. Well, never mind about the DeMarcos and the Slaters. This is all about the Canios and the Powells. This is the real EastEnders tonight. And when is a penalty not a penalty?
Well, Richard, not surprisingly, Alan Kirbishley sticks with the same 11 that beat Arsenal 4-2 last time out. For West Ham, Freddie Canute misses out with a hamstring injury. It's Paul Kitson who comes in for him, as Jermaine Defoe has to make do with a place on the bench at the club where he played his schoolboy football. 4 of the 11 are ever present in the Premiership for the Addicts: Kiely, Young, Powell and Fish. Mark Kinsella is clocking up his 200th league appearance for Charlton tonight. 20-year-old Paul Konchesky was on the Hammers books as a schoolboy as well before he came down to the Valley at the age of 14. Up front, record signing Jason Euell still looking for his first senior Charlton goal since signing for the club in the summer, while last season's top scorer Johansson has gone 6 without scoring. Graham Stuart has recovered from a knee injury to claim a place on the bench. Sebastian Schemmel and Dailly both made their senior West Ham debuts in the 1-1 draw here last season. Thomas Repka returns after completing a 2-match suspension for his second sending off of the season. Scott Minto comes in for the hamstrung Nigel Winterburn. Don Hutchison makes his 50th West Ham appearance tonight. Paolo Di Canio, scorer of the equaliser in last January's draw here, plays alongside Kitson. Joe Cole is on the bench after missing the last 7 with a foot injury, and Steve Lomas makes his first appearance in the squad for 10 months after a career-threatening knee injury. Well, Richard, Charlton are expecting a record crowd here tonight. For the first time in 24 years, it'll be their biggest crowd, with 600 seats extra available tonight. Back to you.
And we're not finished with the penalty debate yet.
No.
There's more when we come back. From Old Trafford, of course, where Muzzy Izzet fell victim at the weekend. To what? It's a question we'll ask next. But he missed anyway.
We got a very good 0-0, if I remember rightly.
It's Charlton against West Ham tonight. Not the best home record at the moment, Charlton, which is surprising. Bearing in mind it was something like Fortress Valley last year, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, their success last season, without a doubt, was built on a record at home that was 11 home wins and only 3 home defeats. Now that's fantastic, but when you look at that already in the first 6 games, they've already lost as many at home as they did in the whole of last season. So you can see where part of the problem is for Alan Kirbishley's side. I think the fact that they lost a lot of players have been rather disjointed. They've missed Richard Rufus, for instance, quite badly. Jonathan Johansson's been kind of in and out the side, the guy they would have expected to score goals. And you know, I think they've had a few problems in that respect. I think once they get a settled side, I think their record at the Valley will improve. They do like playing there.
Is there also a bit of the Ipswich factor? They haven't got the surprise element this season?
I don't think as much so, because they only had a season out. They had a season in the Premiership, 1 out and then back in again. And I think most people knew. But what Alan Kirbishley did, was he strengthened the squad with better players, I think. With players who could cope better with the pressures that are required for Premiership football. And I think he's done a lot of good work in that respect. You know, people like Jason Euell and Klaus Jensen, who have been brought in since they were last up. Good quality footballers who could play at this level.
By the way, we're very grateful to Ian Dark, our boxing commentator, who of course was in Vegas at the weekend watching Lennox Lewis win the World Heavyweight Championship again. Joe Dunbar was there as well. He's Lewis's fitness coach. They shared a first-class seat on the flight home, apparently.
First class?
First class. Well, it must have been. If Darky's travelling to the States, it has to be a first-class seat, surely. Joe Dunbar here was there. He's flown back. He's on duty tonight. Where's Darky?
He'll be watching.
So thank you, Ian. And well done, Joe, who takes, I would have thought, a good share of the credit for getting Lewis into the right shape to win that World Heavyweight Championship crown again. England's rugby union players are in action again, but a tougher test this weekend. It's South Africa, Sky Sports 2, 1:30. That's live. Monday night football this evening, it's Charlton against West Ham United. Now, as unhappy as Charlton have been playing at home this season, West Ham were just a one away win, Andy, and that after some time as well. Have they got to do better on their travels?
Well, that's pretty obvious, Richard, that they do have to do better on their travels, and but it doesn't necessarily mean winning game after game when you play away from home. I think they can, as long as they're picking up points. That's not good enough. They had a very bad start to the season. I think last time out was their away win out at Ipswich, won 3-2. Last time out, so they go into this away game having won their last away game. So they'll be more up about
but
this.
Having lost 8 of 11 both sides of the summer, that's a problem, isn't it?
It is a problem. I mean, I think when you lose games, it's like winning games. It can become habitual, and he wouldn't want that, Glenn Roeder. I think he thought when the 3 victories came back to back, 2 at home, 1 away, he thought, yeah, we've cracked it, we're in. But then they had a really poor result after that game at Ipswich against Fulham when they lost 2-0 at Upton Park. That wasn't a good result for them. That was certainly going on the back of then a 2-week layoff. He would love to have picked something up from that game, even if it was only a point against Fulham, to keep the little run going. But he's got to pick his lads up again. They've got talent. They've got a talented squad of footballers, West Ham. I think if where they're struggling somewhere, it might be, for me, it might be at the back. It's finding a balance. Whether he's going to play 4, whether he's going to play 3. He's got players, got Repka in, and they've got Schemmel in, Christian Dailly. You just wonder about how they're going to play Foxe. They're all getting to know each other. This is a defence that's probably the newest part of the team. Now, when you look ahead of that and you see people like Michael Carrick, Hutchison, Trevor Sinclair in midfield, you think to yourself, that ain't bad. There's a lot of Premiership clubs way above West Ham would take that trio of midfield players and stick them in and play them. There's a few bobs off there. And then, when you've got the mercurial talent of a Powell or Canio, anything can happen. So I think that got the other way, and that surprised me, the fact they haven't scored as many goals as I thought they would, Richard. I expected them to concede maybe a few at the beginning of the season.
But 18.
18 is too many. Too many. But they lost, I think, 5 at Blackburn, was it? And 1 hit.
See, he does play in away games.
Yeah. But he's only got 6 miles up the road to go. That's just a bus journey. You know, but I do think that I expected them to concede maybe 1 or 2 goals until they got the defence right. But I did expect them to score more goals than the 12 they've scored this season. That's only just 1 a game. And I expect a team with the attacking qualities that they've got to score a bit more than that.
Picard Premiership. That win for Derby moved them up 3 places out of the drop zone. Southampton hit rock bottom this weekend. Ipswich and Leicester in there with them. Then it's Charlton and West Ham who play tonight, of course. Middlesbrough, Sunderland up 3 this weekend as well. Everton and Fulham making up the bottom half. Then it's Spurs and Blackburn falling. Bolton up into 8th with that win. Chelsea, no change for them. Newcastle falling. Arsenal in 5th place there. Then it's Manchester United, Villa, Leeds and Liverpool to complete the table for you. Charlton lost just 1 of the last 7. They've won 3 against West Ham. They're only winning that time the 5-0 on Boxing Day last year at Upton Park. Charlton lost 2 of the last 14 going further back than that, and they've won 7. At the Valley, or in Charlton territory, West Ham have won just once from 12, and that 44 years ago, October 1957. They're due one, aren't they?
They hadn't played many, to be fair. 12.
Many in fairness, but 1 win from 12 is not perhaps the return they would have liked. Let's go to the Valley and join our match commentators, Trevor Francis and Rob Hawthorne.
And Trevor, really, I suppose the old adage that the second season after promotion is the toughest is proving the case for Ipswich, and you'd have set up until the Arsenal game, the same for Charlton.
Yes, I think that last year, Rob, they finished 9th, Charlton. Alan Kirbysley knows that that was a tremendous season for him. I think deep down he would like to improve on that, but I think when you look around this stadium here, what they've done over the last couple of years, it's absolutely imperative that they stay in the league. So I think deep down, survival would be success for Charlton again this year.
Well, that victory at Highbury has given them a healthy boost, and as we look at their team now, it won't surprise you to learn, I'm sure, that they've named exactly the same 11 that beat Arsenal 15 days ago. In the interim, of course, Dean Kiely and Mark Kinsella have been on international duty with Ireland, and they've returned elated and unscathed from Tehran. They're 2 of the 6 full internationals in the starting lineup, and if they continue to progress, Scott Parker and Paul Konchesky could be future internationals. Konchesky, a recognised left-back, is impressed with his adaptability to various roles this season.
Yes, you're right. There's no surprise. They've kept the same side. They won't get any better victories this year than a win at Highbury. You see there the back four. It consists of 3 central defenders, with Luke Young playing as a right back, Chris Powell playing as a left back there. He normally likes to get forward, and of course today he'll be given the opportunity to go whenever he wants to, because in front of him, if we can just move on, he's got another left back in young Paul Konchesky. So if Powell wants to go, Konchesky will always tuck back in and give protection and just drop into that left back position whenever he feels fit to do. In the centre of the park, Jensen, Kinsella and Parker, 3 central midfield players. Parker will be asked to keep the shape on the right-hand side. And if we just move on forward, Johansson and Euell, I think Johansson will probably like to drift to the right-hand side, so that can often become a 5 in midfield. He likes to play most of his football in wide areas. Johansson's got great pace, and Jason Euell will be the furthest forward, at times just being the sole striker.
West Ham welcome back Thomas Repka after suspension, but are dealt 2 major blows with Freddie Canuti and Nigel Winterburn both out with hamstring injuries. The 2 players who replaced them are well known to Charlton fans. Paul Kitson, starting a league game for West Ham for the first time in 21 months, was on loan here 2 seasons ago, while Scott Minto returns to the club where his professional career began. And it's good to see long-term absentee Steve Lomas back on the bench, along with Joe Cole.
Yes, you mentioned 1 or 2, Rob, they're coming back onto the bench. I think if you look at West Ham's season so far, they've been troubled with injuries, and I think they're looking to try and get the right blend. At the back here, we've got Repka, Foxe and Dailly, 3 strong physical players. In wide areas, I think Schemmel is naturally an attacking player. He will look to get forward as often as possibly can. I think Minto is more of a defensive, left-sided player. If we move on into the midfield, 3 very good players there, Sinclair, Hutchison and Carrick. Probably this is the strength of the side. I think Michael Carrick, a player I know from my days when I was at Birmingham, he was on loan to us. He's developed into an outstanding player, and a possibility that he may even go to the World Cup. He's certainly played well enough for the under-21s. I see him as the deepest of the 3 midfield players, the one who likes to get on the ball. He's an outstanding passer and a great striker of the ball. Don Hutchison, wherever he goes, he scores goals. He'll be looking to get forward into the penalty box. And Sinclair normally plays in a wide area, but he's got a lot of versatility to his play, a predominantly attacking player. I think that's a good blend in midfield. Up front, well, we don't see Canuti, but it's an opportunity for Kitson to come into the side. I think he'll play as the furthest forward of the 2 strikers. Canio, what can you say about him? Unpredictable, but immensely talented. I expect him to drop back into areas where he can play as he sees fit to play. I think he doesn't play often as an out-and-out striker, but he likes to drop back into deep areas. He'll go wide on the left, he'll go wide on the right. He'll play all over the front of the park.
West Ham United preparing for yet another London derby. Paolo Di Canio, and in front of him, 10-year-old Billy Johnston there, masked tonight, and his grandfather Les, I gather, hasn't been too well, so hope it cheers you up, Les, to see your boy playing his part in leading out the West Ham team at the Valley this evening. Say another London derby for West Ham. They faced Chelsea and Fulham recently. A win and a defeat in those games. The last thing Charlton needed after their win at Arsenal was a fortnight's break. But they come back looking to pick up where they left off then. Join us for all the action live from the Valley after the break.
If you want to go interactive, that's Sky Sports Extra Channel 404 Fan Zone amongst the various features there. Representing Charlton tonight, Matt Goss, and it's Graham Howlett commentating for West Ham. By the way, if you are watching on Sky Digital and you want to clear your screen of the quiz logo at the bottom right-hand side of the picture, just press back up on the remote and that will get rid of it. If you want to test your sports knowledge, then press that red button. Let's go to the Valley and join our match commentators Trevor Francis and Rob Hawthorne.
And West Ham fans in both dugouts tonight. Glenn Roeder, the lifelong fan who achieved a lifelong fan's ambition by getting the manager's job in the summer. And his counterpart, Alan Kirbishley, who was linked with the vacancy but achieved a childhood ambition to play for the club, and has admitted that he's had to find tickets for some of his relatives in the West Ham end of this ground tonight. Charlton's Irish international Mark Kinsella becomes the first subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers tonight. It will be Charlton to get this FA Barclaycard Premiership clash underway. Only the 25th league meeting of these two London rivals. Charlton with 10 victories, West Ham with 6 on their record. Here's England's Chris Powell. Left to Hayden Foxe. Now Don Hutchison. In comes Mark Fish. And offside flag is up against Jason Euell. It's 9 years next month since Charlton's return to the Valley after 6 years of sharing first Selhurst Park and then having a further year at Upton Park. And the ground is being redeveloped impressively now. Dailly out to Scott Minto, facing his old club. Back by Kinsella to Luke Young, challenged by Don Hutchison.
Rob, just a word about the two teams. They've lined up exactly as we spoke about prior to the game. This was a game that I watched last season here at the Valley, and if tonight's half as good as that, we're in for a great night. On that evening, West Ham, in particular, Paulo Di Canio played exceptionally well. 1-1 draw, Bartlett and Di Canio, the goal scorers. I'm looking forward to tonight. Should be a good game.
Memorable effort as well from Di Canio, aren't they all? He's avenged, of course, to a degree, Charlton's 5-0 defeat at Upton Park just a few weeks earlier on Boxing Day last season. Jason Euell, header away was by Repka. Leaving the free kick for Hayden Foxe to take. It's a surprise to some that he's lining up for West Ham tonight. He got a groin injury in the match against Fulham that ruled him out of the Australian squad for the first leg of their World Cup playoff against Uruguay, which takes place tomorrow morning our time. But the Australian FA quite happy to let him play on for West Ham. Di Canio getting the ball across, and the flick on was by Kitson.
Well, that's what I'm talking about with Di Canio. He'll drift into wide areas, puts in a good ball, little flick on from Kitson. I think it was Don Hutchison coming at the far post.
Paul Kitson's last goal was actually for Charlton during the loan spell he had here in their First Division title-winning season. Sebastian Schemmel, now Sinclair, Di Canio, Kitson helping it on in the direction of Trevor Sinclair. Here's Kitson! Oh, what a way to mark his return to the Valley! Paul Kitson scores!
What an unbelievable start for Kitson, but just look at the ball that Di Canio plays. Outside of his right foot, terrific pick out. Kitson, great drive, in off the post. It's a great strike. What a start for him. He really does take it well. Gets his body over it, keeps it nice and low. Kiely, absolutely no chance. Assisted by the post, but really was a great strike.
It's Kitson's first league goal for West Ham in over 2.5 years. Since he scored against another of his old clubs, Newcastle, and now he's returned to the Valley, where he scored once in a 6-match spell for Charlton and scores against them. Big opportunity tonight for Kitson, only in the team because Freddie Canuti is injured, and what a way to vindicate Glenn Roeder's decision to put him in ahead of another former Charlton man, Jermaine Defoe, who's on the bench. Could he have asked for a better start? Schemmel, Di Canio. Here's Trevor Sinclair, who's kept his place in the team despite some outspoken comments about his wishes to get away. Hutchison leaving it for Carrick. Now to Canio. He can just steer it in again to Paul Kitson. Canio aiming to make room for himself. It's Kinsella who gets it away. Well, it's the perfect pick-me-up for West Ham, who lost their last game against Fulham after a good sequence of 3 straight wins. It's Powell, now Jensen. Is a good one by Euell. He's managed to stay onside and he's pulled it behind the player in the middle, Johansson.
Certainly good play there from Charlton. Excellent ball from Jensen. Good run from Euell. Unfortunately, there wasn't quick enough support. Just Johansson in the penalty box.
Yes, Johansson again. Canio. Hutchison. Schemmel. Sinclair looking to combine with Canio. He's got to try and shrug off Konchesky. It was Fish who came across with a challenge.
Once again, Canio involved. Very prevalent in the opening 6 minutes. Lovely 1-2 with Sinclair. Fish comes across. Timely interception.
Canio getting across the corner. Paolo Di Canio again. Schemmel moving up on the outside of him. But he's trying to get inside Konchesky here. And he goes down. He's won the free kick. And it's a very positive start by West Ham.
Well, there's 1 or 2 complaints from Konchesky, but I think Di Canio was slightly too clever for him. Definitely a free kick.
He's never one to undersell an injury, is he, Paolo Di Canio? Kiely, who's conceded 1 already, now facing a free kick. Hutchison and Minto both in attendance. Carrick is there as well.
If we look at the back post there, Rob, Charlton is slightly outnumbered. Now they've adjusted, they've got 3 against 3.
Under for Carrick to hit one, and he got it through. Here's Jensen. Konchesky given away to Sinclair. Casual play by Charlton, but they've won it back. This is Parker. And he's gone for the hit himself. Always going away from the target.
Yeah, and Chrissy Powell's absolutely furious because he's shouting on the left-hand side. They had an overload on the left-hand side, not just Powell. Jensen had gone free. I think the young boy Parker is slightly ambitious. What was he, fully 35 yards out, doesn't trouble Hislop. But certainly this start has unsettled Charlton.
Well, a lot of people looked with surprise at the result that Charlton achieved at Arsenal, but let's not forget they went a goal down in that game. It could have been 3 or 4 down before they finally struck back with the equaliser. They've made lives hard for themselves again. Here's Powell. Kinsella. Johansson making the run. Dailly getting across with it.
Rob, you mentioned they went a goal behind at Arsenal. I had a long chat with Alan Kirbysley before the game, and one of the points that he raised in the discussion was that he's particularly concerned with the way they've been starting, especially at home in recent games. They've been very slow starters. The last thing he wanted was to lose a goal as early as this after 3 minutes today.
They've lost 3 times already at home this season, Alan Kirbysley's team. Everton on the opening day of the season, which the Charlton management felt was a very unrepresentative performance, and Liverpool leads have won here since, as indeed they did last season. So this may be more of a barometer of Charlton's home form, and they need to recover from the early setback of that Paul Kitson goal. Don Hutchison given away to Fish. It's Luke Young. Roda, who joined West Ham originally as their reserve team coach and was surprised in some respects to get the job after Harry Redknapp's departure. Went on record as saying that he thought it would go to a more high-profile candidate. Steve McLaren seemed to be the first choice, and Alan Kirbishley was linked for a long time with the role. There were many who were here for Charlton's last game of last season against Liverpool, believing it would be Kirbishley's last game in charge and that he would make the move to Upton Park. The break on, but well taken. It's Parker who got in the shot.
That's good play, this. Actually, Kinsella, isn't it? Drives the ball towards goal. Straight down the throat of big Hislop. Not a problem for him.
Johansson the target from the clearance, but Dailly gets there. Sinclair, Carrick. Now Don Hutchison. He's got Kitson available just to his left, and Kitson goes for the quick return. No foul on Hutchison. Cleared to Jensen. This is Luke Young. Repka climbing behind Jason Euell. So there's Repka, who's had a fitful start in English football, to say the least. Sent off twice in 5 West Ham appearances, and followed that up, of course, with a sending off for the Czech Republic against Belgium that's prompted him to consider his international future for the criticism that he's taken in his homeland since. It's Mark Kinsella. Konchesky. Header out by Repka.
Well, it's the first time I've seen Repka, Rob, and the one thing that stands out is that he seems very, very good in the air. He's got a terrific spring. I wouldn't say he's any more than 6 foot, but certainly the balls from deep areas from Charlton have to be measured into the either the chest or the feet of the front players, because what Charlton don't have, of course, is big Bartlett, who's such a good head of the ball. And Johansson and Euell, they've got players who really need it into their feet. They're not going to relish balls up there where they have to fight against the heading ability of Foxe and Repka.
He was in Brussels to see Thomas Repka in international action and felt that he was particularly unlucky to get the sending off for what was adjudged to have been an elbowing offence. Here's Chris Powell and Mark Kinsella, who played only in the second leg of Ireland's World Cup playoff against Iran. Klaus Jensen. Parker. Now Jason Euell. Given away to Foxe. This is Sinclair. Schemmel. Repka. Michael Carrick.
There you see the interchanging that I was on about. In that situation there, Konchesky quite comfortable to play as the left back, allowing Chris Powell now to play on the left of midfield. They've rotated. I think you'll see this quite often during the course of the game.
And Konchesky in the deeper position. Now Euell. Jensen. Parker. The shirt pulling. Referee Alan Wiley. Jensen's free kick. Fish got forward for it. going to trouble Shaka Hislop. Hislop an ever-present in the West Ham team, despite the return to fitness now of David James, who again is on the substitutes bench. James, who was injured playing for England before making his West Ham debut. Here's Jensen. Canio's layoff not coming off. Carrick. And a change of subject for player cam, and it's the goal scorer Paul Kitson who moves into the focus for Sky Digital viewers on Channel 404.
As you can imagine, Glenn Roeder coming to the game tonight, bitterly disappointed that his top goal scorer from last year, Freddie Canuti, was absent through injury. Yet little does he know that after 3 minutes, his replacement puts him in the lead. What a great start he's given them.
Sinclair here to try and improve the position. It's Kitson again, good save by Kiely. And Sinclair battling and pressing to try and get it in, but Charlton there grateful to the reactions of their goalkeeper.
Once again, an excellent 1-2. Kitson comes off his marker Fish and very nearly gets his second goal. It's a good save low down from Kiely. There's 1 or 2 complaints. The referee allowed play to continue.
It's the Canio's corner. Here's Parker. Jensen. Canio. Away by Paul Konchesky.
Well, the West Ham players were happy with the throw, but the Charlton players, Rob, were furious. But certainly if Kitson's shot had gone in, the goal would have stood.
It took a good save from Kiely in the end to deny Kitson. But this is what they were complaining about.
And now you see Sinclair in possession. Well, I think what they're claiming, that's a foul throw. The hand goes up from Konchesky. He doesn't go with the runner, Sinclair. He gets in behind. And very nearly, Kitson made it too.
Jensen thought he was fouled there, but again, Alan Wiley keeps his hands behind his back. Just when West Ham perhaps thought they would get a corner for the deflection off Brown. Free kick given against Kitson. Wayward one from Dean Kiely, who's proved his worth with 1 save already. Canio given away to Parker. With Jason Euell. Bob Fish. Good link up. Good run by Fish, looking for Euell with a cross, but it's Repka away. Luke Young.
Vitally important if Johansson does drift into those wide areas like he did then, that midfield players look to get into the box, otherwise they're always going to be short in their Charlton.
Young. No corner. Alex wasn't the last touch, so the officials felt. West Ham have won only one of their last 7 league contests against Charlton. That was the 5-0 home victory on Boxing Day, their best result ever against tonight's opponents. Kinsella looking for a volunteer to take the free kick, and it's Konchesky who steps forward. Well, Kinsella himself is going to take it. Brown is forward. Fish was climbing, and it almost ran to Euell, and does in the end, and he equalises. It's skimmed back to him off a West Ham head, and Jason Euell draws Charlton level.
Well, it's the West Ham player who gets the flick. I'm sure that Hislop should have done better with this. Euell misses his first attempt. I think that's possibly confused Hislop. He doesn't handle it well. Gives Euell the second opportunity, and he's not going to miss from 2 yards.
Well, a calamitous goal for West Ham to concede, but in the 21st minute, Charlton have drawn level. It was Christian Dailly's back header in the first place that put Euell through, and Hislop didn't deal convincingly with the first effort, gave Euell a second bite at the cherry, and as they did against Arsenal, Charlton have come from a goal down. It's come off a West Ham head, can't be in an offside position, and Euell kept his composure well. It's the first goal he scored at home for his new club, Jason Euell. It's his 4th of the season since his £4.5 million move from Wimbledon. And Hutchison with a clear handball.
Rob, I think there were 2 players who were actually offside, but the only thing I would say is I'm not so sure that the linesman would actually realise that it was off a West Ham player. So the decision is right. The goal should stand. And I would think that when the linesman sees it, he'd be mightily relieved that it was a West Ham player, because otherwise it should have been flagged for offside. But the goal was good.
The offside flag is again stayed down as Powell goes through. Hislop comes out, does what he can to prevent Powell from scoring.
Well, was this a foul? Well, I think Hislop realised that he was just outside the penalty box. He couldn't go it with his hands. It's a great run from Chris Powell. I think he was a little bit fortunate there, Hislop, that he didn't concede a free kick. And being the last man, of course, that could have been a sending-off offence.
More pressure on his goal again now as the header goes wide. Jason Euell again lurking.
Well, Charlton are asking 1 or 2 questions, and certainly West Ham are not looking comfortable when they're put under pressure.
And sensing that, Charlton looking to cap their recovery with a second goal. It's Konchesky to take the corner. Kinsella, the player underneath it. Still not convincingly away by Repka. This is Luke Young. Now Johansson. Jason Euell. Kinsella's made a move in the box, but it's over his head. And Hislop finds Kitson. Here's Carrick. Dailly. Minto. Carrick. Away by Brown. Dailly. Fish. Kinsella being warned about the arrival of Kitson, finds Konchesky. Now Powell. Jensen. And again Jensen moves. It's Parker. And it's well wide from him this time. That decision a few moments ago when Hislop came out and clashed with Chris Powell could have been a pivotal moment of the match.
Well, I think it was definitely outside the box, Rob, wasn't it? Let's have another look.
Well, was there a determination there from Hislop that if he didn't get the ball, he was going to get the man?
I think Hislop realised that he was outside the box, decided he couldn't come and punch it. That was his first intentions. He was coming for the punch. Now, did he push Chris Powell in the back? I don't think that's conclusive. I really don't. I think the referee probably got it right. Certainly, if he felt that it was a foul, that he would have had to have sent him off.
Here's Scott Parker. Carrick. Sinclair. Looking long for Canio. It was a bright start to the game by West Ham as they got the early goal just on the 3-minute mark. But Charlton have moved ahead of them since in terms of the attempts they've had at least.
Yes, I think prior to the game, I think it was quite clear that whoever won this game put a little bit of daylight between themselves and the bottom teams. And I think the intentions are very positive from both managers. Both of them have come here to play attacking football to try and win this game.
Well, a victory for either would take them out of the bottom 6. Young's throw. There's Vic from Parker. Euell just the wrong side to take it on board, but trouble here for Repka. Johansson takes it away. Euell gets in the shot, and it's 2-1. And Jason Euell single-handedly has turned it around. But it's another disastrous goal for West Ham, and Repka in particular to concede.
What was Repka thinking of? I cannot believe it, in his own penalty box. He's dribbling the ball, but that's an excellent finish from Euell. He beats Hislop on his near post far too easily. Hislop gets his position all wrong. That's too easy. Should be beaten like that at the near post. Give credit to Euell. He finished it in style, but really, that's a particularly bad goal for West Ham to concede. That should have gone from Repka right up into the stand. His first touch was awful. It went a good 4 or 5 yards away from him and presented the opportunity to Charlton.
These London derby matches are always fiercely contested. There's been a dispute over the award of a throw-in, which eventually went in Charlton's favour. But West Ham have got to be careful not to lose their heads. They've got enough problems as it is already, continuing their poor run of conceding goals away from home. They'd already conceded 16 in their last 4 away games before this, but they could get one back here, and Kitson has! 2 for Euell, 2 for Kitson, and West Ham are level.
Well, you're not going to see a better goal than that all season. The build-up was absolutely magnificent. Just have a look at this pass from Canio. Wonderful. Possibly the ball from Minto is even better. Played in behind the defender. It's played from Minto with his left foot, shaped in behind Fish. Kitson onto it. Both strikers on a hat-trick. Kitson 2, Euell 2.
Yes, those two strikers reaching the point at which they might get a hat-trick within the first half hour of the game. So a personal duel between them now as to who can get that achievement first. Cracking return to the Valley though for Paul Kitson, and a goal that was absolutely vital to settle West Ham down. They've conceded 2 bad goals, but Kitson now has given them genuine hope. I mentioned they must keep their heads. Canio foremost amongst those who has to keep his temper under control. Luke Young. Header away by Dailly. Canio. Scott Parker combines with Jensen. Now Johansson. Can he set it up for a Euell hat-trick? He's got there! And Hislop has saved with his legs. Well, that's a foul. But Euell could have had his hat-trick by now, but for that man, Shaka Hislop.
We're certainly seeing some good passing tonight, Rob. This is a ball from Johansson, similar to the ball that Minto played in behind Repka. Euell chooses to play it with his right foot, could have gone with his left, goes with his right, instinct save with his right foot from Hislop, saves the day for West Ham.
Jensen of Charlton becomes the latest subject of player cam for Sky Digital viewers on channel 404 for the remainder of this half.
Rob, things are happening that quickly here. If we just refer back to the goal that West Ham scored, I was right in line with Canio. He was being closed down by 3 players and he was running along the halfway line. And my first thoughts were, if he loses this ball now, he's in trouble. He's got to drop it off to one of the central defenders, play it easy, not Canio. He's played an absolutely magnificent ball in behind. I think it was Luke Young for the advance in Minto. It really was a superb pass.
Konchesky with a free kick. Fish with a header! And Hislop with a save.
Great ball in from Konchesky. Fish onto it. Out jumps Hutchison. Little flick. Brilliant save from Hislop. Every time the ball was in the box, it's threatening a goal.
Jensen has lost out to Trevor Sinclair, and he's made up some good ground here. Canio has got forward in support, and Kitson and Carrick are there as well. Jensen, though, has done a good job. Now Powell breaking with it as the action swings from end to end at the moment. Well, it was betwixt and between Parker and Young, and the referee has played an advantage there despite the foul on Scott Parker, and I wonder if there might be further action to be taken.
I think you're right, Rob. It was a late challenge from Minto, and I think the referee quite correctly playing the advantage rule. As soon as the ball was out of play, I think he'll give a booking to Minto, and rightly so.
Good play this from Euell. Beyond Johansson, he'd done so much good work in the build-up, it was the end product that let him down. Here's Sinclair. And it's gone out, and referees need memories like elephants at times, don't they, when the ball stays in for so long after an incident. But Alan Wiley knew what was happening, kept his eye on the situation, and has indeed shown the yellow card for Scott Minto.
I think Scott Parker saw the challenge coming and actually hurdled over Minto. I don't think he actually made contact, but certainly the intent was there, and no complaints I wouldn't have thought about the yellow card. Although Paulo Di Canio had 1 or 2 words with the referee, but that's expected. Alan Wiley would expect that.
Jensen. Kinsella. Jensen. Euell. Oh. Hislop well placed in the end to take it.
Yes, it looked straightforward, that shot from Euell, but I think that was deflected. I think it took a slight deflection.
Yes, there seemed a wicked bend on it one way or another. Here's Konchesky. Powell. It seems a permanent swap now, with Konchesky staying at left back and Powell pushing on.
Yes, it does. And also Luke Young is more or less playing in midfield on the right-hand side there for Charlton.
Foxe. Here's Kinsella. Now Young. Kinsella. Konchesky. Foxe has to try and get it away, and that was one that could have gone anywhere.
He's got an excellent foot, this young lad, Konchesky. He plays that into the danger area. Foxe stretching, could have gone anywhere. Fortunately for him, it goes over the crossbar.
Konchesky delivers. Beyond Fish this time, headed away by Hutchison. Young. Colliding with Sinclair. Kinsella. Jensen. Johansson takes it on board. Canio coming back to get the tackle.
How do you interpret that? He's annoyed with someone. I would guess with his colleagues. Don't know quite what for, though.
Jensen. Fish and Kinsella too close to each other in the end, and neither could make the most of the opportunity. Young. Jensen. Away by Minto. And that's another useful spell for Charlton. Come from behind once to lead, only to see West Ham cancel out their advantage. Sinclair. And wanted a little too much time there, which allowed Sinclair to get away. And he set up Kitson for the hat-trick if he can get through. Powell, though, comes across and makes the tackle. And what a vital tackle it was. It looked on there for the headline-grabbing moment from Paul Kitson. He sets one up now for the Canio.
You can't take your eye off this game, can you, for 1 second?
Well, this is how London derby should be. Plenty of passion out there without the venom that we saw in the North London affair 2 days ago. But it's well contested. Sellers minus his boot at the moment. Cleared by Konchesky. Foxe looking to watch it back. Oh, he's let it bounce, which is always a risk. And Euell over.
Well, Foxe there didn't defend that particularly well. He allowed the ball to drop, should have cleared it, never allow it to drop. Euell onto it. If only he'd seen Hislop 6 yards off his line, he could have lobbed him.
Well, West Ham's defensive frailties have been all too readily exposed. But what continues to give them hope is the way they're building up in this area of the field. It's unfortunate there, the way the ball broke off Kitson and the move broke down. But they're a threat every time they go forward. Hayden Foxe could have been with Australia now, their World Cup playoff against Uruguay. We're showing you the first leg of that live on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow at 9 o'clock. But if you're not around to see that, you will be able to catch the highlights later on Sky Sports 1 at 7 o'clock. Foxe was initially in the standby squad, got a call-up when Lucas Neal of Blackburn was injured. He then got this groin injury, and Australia didn't ask for independent medical confirmation. They were quite happy to accept West Ham's version of events and the scan on the groin problem, because they've always enjoyed a good relationship with the club in the past. Foxe on now to Canio, and Foxe gets forward this time, beats Brown, works it through. Is it going to fall for Minto? Well, almost a case of too many cooks spoiling the broth, and Canio could still pull it back here. Well, haphazard defending to say the least by Charlton, for whom Steve Brown is still down injured, and the referee halts play to allow him to get treated.
Yes, I think Mr. Wiley believes it's a head injury, and I think he's right. So stopped it. What about the defending here, Rob? Number of opportunities to get the ball away. 3 or 4 attempts, then they finally kick it to Canio. He can't control it right, gets it back in the box. Second attempt, Kiely gets it under control. Both sides have defended very, very poorly. Kitson, he's certainly a live wire tonight, and almost got his hat-trick here. Lovely 1-2 again, Sinclair and Canio. Now, is this a foul? No, I don't think so. He tries to get his body in front of Chris Powell, hasn't quite got the pace. You can see there quite clearly Powell gets the ball. Kitson wanted a free kick, but once again the referee's got it right.
Canio renowned for his sportsmanship after events at Everton last season, and he has given the ball back to Dean Kiely, as you would expect of the West Ham captain. Repka with the header away. Sinclair loses his footing. Jensen. Kinsella. Scott Parker. Now Brown, who's recovered from that blow to the head. Konchesky. Scott Parker. Klaus Jensen. Young bringing it under control and finding Chris Powell, who's got Euell and Johansson both waiting in the middle. Euell! Johansson goes for the rebound, but again Euell denied his hat-trick by Hislop.
Just have a look at the marking in the penalty box here. Who's supposed to be marking Euell? That's awful marking. Really, Euell, he couldn't believe how much space he gets. Powell sticks it on his head. Hislop, good save, but really, he should have been allowed to make the save. That should have been Euell's hat-trick. But once again, marking dreadful.
Salah looking to help it back across towards Fish. Cleared to Parker. His first touch gives Sinclair the opportunity to clear, which he takes. Now to Canio. Kitson has gone on a break, and Powell blocks the ball that was intended for him, and then blocks to Canio, who doesn't surprisingly get the free kick. Johansson. Jensen. Kinsella. Getting Euell the target. Foxe makes it this time. Parker. Away by Carrick to Kitson. Sinclair. Repka. Schemmel. Sinclair. Away by Foxe. To Canio. He's lost out to Jason Euell. Well, he tried unselfishly there to put it on a plate for Johansson, and it didn't come off. Kitson. Paulo Di Canio. Jensen, given away by Canio for the second time in quick succession. Last time it was Euell, this time it's Jensen. But again, they get the final ball wrong. West Ham have been on the back foot for the most part. There'll be 2 minutes of stoppage time added on in this first half. Here's Parker. Challenged by Minto. Kinsella. Parker looks to play it across. Euell should get the better of Schemmel in terms of reaching in, but couldn't direct the header. And then Hislop wastes another ball. Acknowledges his error to Schemmel. Jensen. Luke Young. Johansson. Canio. Sinclair looking to help it on into the path of Schemmel this time. Carrick. Half-time. It has not been a masterclass in defending, but it's been a thoroughly entertaining London derby in which Kitson has scored twice on his return to the Valley, either side of a double from Jason Euell, and both players could have had their hat-tricks by now. But at half-time here at the Valley, it's Charlton 2, West Ham 2.
Terrific entertainment, and am I the only one that thinks there probably are more goals in this? 2-2 at half-time at the Valley. This is the entertaining London derby, isn't it? Goals galore to date. And his thoughts when we come back. What a good derby match. 4 goals already. And do you sense there's more in it?
I hate when you say that. You sense that there's more goals. No, I think there'll be more chances. The only thing that concerns me is often when you get a football match like this, both coaches will go in, both managers will go into the dressing room. The first thing they'll say is, right, defensively, we have to get it sorted. And they'll tighten things up all over the place, and it'll become a rather sterile affair. I hope it doesn't happen. I haven't seen many games recently which have been as open as this. We've had 2 midfields. The game's been stretched over about 60 yards of the pitch. We've had 2 midfields that have been more concerned with going forward than they have at times with defending. So we've had such an open East End derby. It's been unbelievable.
And what about Kitson? What a return. Your first start in 21 months, and within 3 minutes you're on the score sheet.
Well, Paul's played the game a long time. He scored plenty of goals, but he will never have struck one as well as this. I don't think. It's a beautiful strike. But watch the Canio, watch the influence he's had in this, and the goals. Now, the first one is it's tossed in, 1 touch from Canio. Then we get another, 1 touch. 1 touch back to Canio, 1 touch from him. 1 touch more from Kitson. There's 1 touch there, but then Canio's most telling 1 touch is that. Now, the difficulty about this, when it sits up like that, it's so difficult to hit, but it never moves. It never deviates. It's a sensational strike in the first couple of minutes.
Jason Euell with his first goal at the Valley, quickly followed by the second, as we'll see in a minute. But this, his first at the Valley for Charlton. Yeah,
and we'll see. Trevor talked about the free kick. They've got a good line here, Richard. I don't think often teams drop deep, but West Ham, to be fair to them, don't. Now, when it's tossed in, Trevor wondered about the linesman, but I think, as he goes up, I think the linesman can see that. You can see how he's looking in. There's no one in his way. He can see, I think, that it's a blue shirt that goes up and wins that ball. I think that's probably why he keeps his flag down. Otherwise, it would certainly have gone up. But I don't think Hislop will be too keen on that. That's not the best goalkeeping I've seen from the big man. he'd be disappointed it spilled away from him as easily as it did.
So no debate about offside there, but
No.
should there have been perhaps on the second?
Well, let's take a look again. 18-yard line again. They play the ball in. Plenty of movement, plenty of things happening. It's going to come back in. First of all now, might there have been an offside against Jason Euell coming out? The person to keep your eye on is going to be making a run in here very shortly, Chris Powell. Now watch what happens. And I just think it's a question to be answered. What Repka's doing, I don't know. Roll Kitson, okay, never mind. But when that ball's played in now, do you think there's a case for offside?
Well, presumably that's the target he has whilst playing that ball in.
I think he's trying to hit the ball across goal. There's no doubt about that, I think. Therefore, Chris Powell must be interfering with play. Otherwise, why is he standing in the corner of the 6-yard box? But because it gets deflected, it doesn't reach him. Now, I don't know if the linesman takes that all in within that amount of time, but it's a brilliant finish, I have to say, by Euell.
1 minute 30 seconds later, it was 2-2, and that's the most disappointing thing for Charlton, isn't it?
Alan Kirby shall be furious, absolutely furious to go 1 down, fight your way back to 2-1, and then do this within 2 minutes. And again, Canio. Watch this, the ball comes for a throw-in. No one else touches this now, up until the time when he thinks, where am I going to go? I'm not going anywhere. Scott Minto gives him a great target. And this is just as good a ball. No, there's no point here, Richard, in him facing it in this way, because it will get cut out. But if he does face the most wonderful pass across the face of goal, we actually have seen some pretty good finishing tonight and some pretty good goalkeeping.
Fingers crossed that there is more from this derby match. It's Charlton 2, West Ham 2 at the Valley. Oof, that was close too, wasn't it? Second half, of course, comes up next.
This was his run across the face of this is Paul Kitson on player cam, Richard. First of all, he made that run across in case it came to him. And as soon as the ball went wide, he ducked back inside and got on the end of it. Fabulous run from him.
2-2 it is, 2 on a hat-trick. Let's rejoin Trevor Francis and Rob Hawthorne.
Paul Kitson and Jason Euell, those players on a hat-trick. Kitson, who incidentally is out of contract at the end of the season, so he's very much in the shop window tonight and doing himself justice. Kitson enjoyed being in the spotlight of player cam. I wonder if Don Hutchison will too. He's in the focus of Sky Digital viewers on channel 404. So 2-2 in this compelling FA Barclaycard Premiership clash at the Valley. As West Ham get the second half underway. This is Christian Dailly. Both managers, I'm sure, would welcome a more pragmatic approach, certainly defensively, in the second 45 minutes. Parker. Johansson with a header down to Jason Euell. And now here's Mark Fitch. Luke Young. This is part of a run of 4 London derbies in 5 league games. They beat Chelsea and lost to Fulham in the ones they've already played, and after this they've got Tottenham at home on Saturday. Steve Brown, now Carrick. And this is Repka. Schemmel to Sinclair. To Canio. Working another great ball through to Schemmel. Kitson looking to get on the end of it. And Fish has to get across there with him.
Well, the second half started as the first finished. Great attacking play. Lovely ball from Schemmel. Kitson almost onto it. But Fish just gets there in the nick of time with his head. We're just talking about the two sides, Rob, and what's been going on half-time quite clearly. Certainly in the Charlton dressing room, there's been a change in tactics. I think now they're going with 3 at the back, with Konchesky coming back to play on the left-hand side, Brown in the centre, Fish on the right. Powell and Young are the wing-backs.
There's Konchesky climbing behind Sinclair. Hutchison Minto.
Foxe. Konchesky. Powell. Repka. Kinsella. Steve Brown looking for Johansson. It's come off Repka's head. And it's a corner for Charlton. Brown and Fish have come forward for Jensen's corner. Simply taken by Hislop. Konchesky. Carrick. Foxe. Minto. Kinsella, for whom this is his 200th league game for Charlton tonight. Now Jensen. Kinsella, who's given such good service since his move here from Colchester. Kinsella again. Kitson. Canio. Oh, trying to work his magic from the tightest of angles onto the roof of the net in the end.
Yes, he was certainly running out of space, wasn't he, on the field? Fish sends him wide, but nothing's impossible when this guy's on the ball. He knew exactly what he was trying to do. He saw Kiely at the near post, trying to lift it over him to the far post.
He wouldn't put anything past this man, Paolo Di Canio. Scored a good goal here last January in West Ham's 1-1 draw. And he was Charlton's tormentor in the 5-0 win for West Ham at Upton Park. Great chance here, Johansson! And Charlton are back in front. Johansson's third of the season.
Well, the defending in midfield is poor for West Ham. Parker plays the lovely little ball in behind Foxe. Hislop comes out. Johansson's got the choice of either going around him, but he just slots it underneath him into the empty net. It's a lovely goal for Charlton. Well taken by Johansson.
Johansson, who was the top scorer for Charlton last season with 14 goals, 11 of them in the Premiership, has registered his third of this campaign and he's second since the opening day of the season. And Charlton in front for the second time in this game. They only held the lead for 2 minutes last time before Kitson equalised. Can they hold on to what they have now? Johansson the target again, and there was a little push by him on Repka.
It was good play from Parker, you know, Rob. I think West Ham, certainly the management team, would like to have seen a little bit more resistance in the middle of the park. It was too easy the way that Parker came away with the ball. But then he waited for the movement, and he got it from Johansson, who made the little run in behind Foxe. And as Hislop came out to close him down, he slotted it with ease past him.
As it stands at the moment, it's a victory that would take Charlton up to 13th place in the table, which would be a significant improvement for Alan Kirbishley's team after a difficult start to this season. The worst start they've made in the Premiership, incidentally. Ball just beyond the reach of Chris Powell. Canio looking for Trevor Sinclair and finding it. Away by Konchesky. Canio. To Minto, Kitson with a layoff. Powell gets it clear in the end. It'll be troubling for Charlton that they're getting deeper and deeper, and West Ham are looking more and more threatening again, replicating what happened last time they had the lead. This is Minto looking to get through. It's a great run from him, and he's found Paul Kitson. Just too many bodies there for him to get his shot through.
That's a good run from Minto. Picked out Kitson well. If only Kitson had realised that on his outside was Paulo Di Canio, totally free in the penalty box.
Brown away. Euell couldn't take it on. This is Dailly. Sinclair going forward against Paul Konchesky. Away by him to Powell. Konchesky. Parker. Kinsella. Jensen jumping with Minto and winning the battle. And the break on here for Jensen. It's Luke Young with 3 in the middle to his left. Luke Young goes for it. Saw the possibility of his first ever goal at club level, but it didn't happen.
Once again, the break right through the middle of the park. It's like knife going through butter, exposing West Ham in the centre. Luke Young comes back onto his left foot, strikes it. Not on target. The problem's in the centre of the field, Rob. I think that they've got to get a holding player in there, someone who can just give a little bit of protection to the back three, who obviously are desperately in need of it.
Konchesky. Jensen. Fish. Luke Young. Jensen. Young. Good work from Jensen to shrug off Hutchison. He's lined it up for Scott Parker, who's got Powell out to his left and Euell just to his right. Here's Chris Powell. The head of Repka. Another corner to Charlton. More uncomfortable moments for the West Ham defence as Jensen bends in another one. Powell hits it against Sinclair for the throw.
Konchesky with the back pass.
Take your time, mate. Well done.
Repka. Here's Steve Brown. Repka away. Lovely touch from Euell. Parker. Ran out of room in the end and ran into Thomas Repka. He had support there from Schemmel. All credit to Parker, who didn't give up on it.
Well, I think what he was attempting to do there, Rob, was to shove the ball through the legs of Repka.
And this time a year ago, Scott Parker was playing in the First Division. He was on loan at Norwich to extend his experience. Here's Canio. Sinclair with Schemmel up on the outside of him. Sinclair trying to get round Konchesky. Kinsella away. Referee plays on. There may have been a foul there by Repka on Euell, but a good advantage. Luke Young. Johansson out wide. Euell on his own in the area for Charlton. And two players coming across in the end to deny Young the opportunity to cross. Dailly and Minto preventing him from doing so.
Yes, I think Luke Young rather runs down a blind alley here. Tries to go in between the two West Ham defenders. Absolutely no future in that run. And the ball just shepherded out to play for a goal kick. Just talking about Parker, who went to Norwich. If you look at the two players who have been very evident in this game, Michael Carrick, he had a couple of spells at Swindon and then Birmingham. And Parker at Norwich. I think when they're young, Rob, it's good for their experience, good for their growing up process. Gives them the opportunity to play more regular. And I think the football clubs, West Ham and Charlton, have certainly benefited from it.
Both now part of the England under-21 set-up. Indeed, Carrick got the goal against Holland that clinched England's place in the European Championship. Possible substitutions here by Glenn Roeder. Steve Lomas is all set to come on after a long layoff. And Joe Cole, another possible introduction. Free kick taken by Kinsella, headed away by Hutchison. This is Klaus Jensen. And magnificently there to work it through towards Fish. Corner given. Nice leaving the kick for Konchesky to take, as Johansson is among those waiting to benefit from the service of another England under-21 squad man. Cleared by Kitson this time. Sinclair. And a change of player for player cam. Jason Euell can be followed now by Sky Digital viewers on channel 404. Period in which he gets his hat-trick. Here's Carrick. Sinclair looking to get on the end of it, but Kiely was always the favourite.
There's a couple of new players shortly to be introduced, and it wouldn't surprise me either if there's a change of shape in the side.
Foxe. It's in that midfield area where West Ham have been struggling to contain Charlton.
I think they may actually forfeit one of the centre halves as well, Rod. You know, between the three of them, they've not looked convincing at all at the back. But we'll see.
Scott Minto is one of the players going off. And on in his place comes Steve Lomas, who played in West Ham's 5-0 win against Charlton on Boxing Day, and then 2 league games later suffered a bad cruciate ligament injury that at one stage seemed to threaten his career. So it's heartening to see Lomas back in action tonight. And Joe Cole has had his fitness problems this season, but he's coming on now to take the place of Don Hutchison. Cole, who's lined up for a full run out in the reserves tomorrow, but he's going to get just under half an hour here, having had a foot problem, a bruised bone. I've seen him having hydrotherapy treatment, amongst other things. It's Canio. Here's Sebastian Schemmel. Now Cole. Canio. Skimmed off the head of Fish. Kitson looked to rescue it, and it has been, and he's done it. Kitson, on his return to the Valley, has got his hat-trick.
Once again, not particularly distinguished defending from Charlton on this occasion. Powell de Canio, as you'd expect, he's been involved in everything. Just teases the Charlton defence, plays at the back post. Well, that's the simplest goal that Kitson's going to score. There's the flick from Fish. I think Konchesky probably could have done better at the far post. No fault of the keeper. And Kitson tucks it away. What a good substitution.
Yes, and not bad for a player who would not have been in the starting lineup had Freddie Canute been available for West Ham United. Paul Kitson, the makeshift striker, scores a hat-trick on his return to the Valley. And a game that's ebbed and flowed. There may be more dramatic twists to come. Foxe takes the decision out of his goalkeeper's hands, and West Ham get away with it. Now is the momentum with the visitors, especially after those 2 changes. This man Cole, freshly introduced. Schemmel riding the challenge from Powell. Christian Dailly. Cole. Schemmel.
Oh, that's a dreadful challenge. That is a bad challenge from Schemmel. No attempt to play the ball. He overruns it. That is awful.
Trevor Sinclair and Paolo Di Canio have spoken to Alan Wiley, urging leniency from him. Yellow card, though, perhaps the least he could have expected. Well, he's a good professional, Chris Powell.
Yes, it could have been worse.
Thankfully, Powell back on his feet. Not as bad as it might have been. Away was by Repka. Here's Jensen. Kinsella. Jensen with a flick, and he's found Scott Parker. Finds himself crowded out. Sinclair, now Joe Cole. Furthest West Ham player forward, although Di Canio out to his left is getting forward in support. Konchesky blocks him off in the end. Jensen. Now Jason Euell, can he match Paul Kitson's achievement? He's the other player on a hat-trick. Luke Young. Off ball.
Good run from Luke Young. Caught young Joe Cole, ball watching here. Played him behind him, gets in too easily.
And Paul Konchesky with a corner. Oh, looked a free header, and Kinsella kicks the post in frustration because he couldn't apply the finishing touch that was so desperately required. Cleared to Canio. How close to that was Mark Kinsella?
Well, he actually made contact, Rob.
Konchesky gets it back across, he's free, Johansson! And Repka arrived in the nick of time.
I tell you, the defending, they're all over the place. Kinsella couldn't believe how much space he had, neither there could Johansson. Really, Charlton should have scored on the two occasions.
Luke Young lifts it over as the corner is cleared to it. Another remarkable sequence of events in front of the West Ham goal as they hang on grimly.
This is the chance for Kinsella, totally free in the box, doesn't make full contact, skids off his head. Should have given Charlton the lead.
Actually seemed to hit his own man, Jason Euell. Konchesky. Brown. Now Powell. Foxe. This is Cole. There's a push by Parker.
Just a quick opportunity, Rob, to tell you that West Ham have gone to a 4 at the back with Dailly played as the left back. Centre of the midfield for West Ham, Lomas and Carrick are giving a little bit more protection now to the back 4.
Lomas now looks to pull it across and Fish has to deal with it. Kitson has closed him down, no foul. And Kitson can pull it back across here, but it's blocked. Schemmel, away by Fish. Well, we've seen evidence of last-ditch defending by both teams. An air of desperation about the defending at times. Jensen. Cleared by Cole. Hat-trick for Paul Kitson, as well as being his third of the season, third league goal of the season. It was the first time that he scored a hat-trick since May 1997 for West Ham against Sheffield Wednesday, which was also the last time any West Ham player scored a hat-trick in the Premiership. And yet, having scored the hat-trick, he could, in theory, still finish on the losing side. It's still finely balanced at the moment. Canio pulls it across here, and Sinclair unable to get there. Schemmel gets it across, Kitson's there again.
That ball is like a magnet to him. Every time it comes in the box, he seems to be onto it. What a ball this is from Canio. Sinclair comes in, makes a good run, almost gets there. Schemmel wastes no time, back into the box. Kitson, well, everything's gone right for him tonight. Can't quite direct that one on target, but he's done enough for his team. You can't ask any more than a hat-trick, can you?
I wonder how many of those 9 attempts are belonging to Paul Kitson. There have been 6 on target in total for them. But it's been a remarkable comeback into the first team for a player who was loaned out to Charlton and Crystal Palace. Looked then as though his West Ham career might be over, but he has come back with a vengeance tonight. Laid off by Brown, didn't quite come off for Charlton. Now Canio. Joe Cole, Kitson again. Kinsella, Fish. Carrick. Here's Foxe. Joe Cole. It's too long for Sebastian Schemmel.
Wasn't necessary either, was it? One or two easier options. He elected to play the crossfield ball all of 50 yards.
Here's Mark Kinsella, challenged by Lomas. To Canio. Delayed and delayed because Kitson was possibly in an offside position, but he's won the free kick. And they've got on with the taking of it and found Joe Cole, who spreads it to Dailly. Kitson again is in the middle with Sinclair, and Kitson gets it back across. Chris Powell who gets it away.
I do believe the two substitutions made a good effect on the West Ham team, Rob. I think they needed that extra player in the centre of the park who had defensive qualities. Certainly Lomas is holding the better position. Carrick playing slightly deeper. Of course, they've got the inventiveness now with Joe Cole in there.
Run by Young. And Johansson gets it back across to him, and an important tackle timed well by Michael Carrick.
Once again, another determined run. Johansson puts it into Young. And he looks to have possibly strained his hamstring, or is that a little bit of cramp?
Konchesky's ball in. Hislop having to be strong there against Fish. Jensen just lost the flight of it then, and it's reached Trevor Sinclair. Steve Lomas. Schemmel. To Canio looking to bring it under control. Brown got it away and found Johansson. Now Klaus Jensen. Schemmel caught him. And into the last quarter of an hour, with the game still finally poised.
Sure, Rob, with one or two tired legs now, it must be a consideration for Glenn Roeder to put on Defoe. But how do you take off Canio or Kitson? Canio's been excellent. Kitson's on a hat-trick. Very difficult to make that substitution, but it must be a consideration for him.
What sort of reception Jermaine Defoe would get here, having left as a schoolboy in controversial circumstances. West Ham having had to pay a fee of compensation for him to Charlton that could climb to over £1.5 million after he makes a senior England debut. He's already done really well in the under-21s, of course. Lukia. And he was trying to play for the corner there against Christian Dailly, who didn't get a touch, and again Young feeling that injury. The question is being answered about the sort of reception that Jermaine Defoe would get on his return to the Valley. He said he expected some sort of stick, and he's getting it. Judas is the cry. Well, it is Paul Kitson, the hat-trick hero, who's going to make way. And I suppose you'd say good management in a way, in that he can get the send-off that he deserves. But there's still an important part to be played in this game as West Ham seek out the winner. The Charlton fans giving a hostile reception to Jermaine Defoe, who never broke through into the first team here. He left too early to have done that. We were talking earlier about players loaned out to gain experience, and he did so in the grand manner at Bournemouth, where he had that record run of scoring in 10 consecutive games. Schemmel here wins the corner.
Yeah, I think the substitution makes sense, Rob, because Defoe is very, very quick. As I said, one or two tired legs. You don't quite know what the general fitness is of Kitson. He looked to be tiring a little bit. He's done his job.
West Ham well behind in terms of the corner count, but their third will be taken by Canio, and it's cleared by Jason Euell. Parker away. He's actually fallen over, and that was a heavy collision with the hoarding for Scott Parker. And Glenn Roeder showing his immediate concern for the opposing player. That was a heavy clash. Into it with his left knee making the initial impact, and he's still off the field as West Ham continue a build-up looking for a goal that could win this seesaw match. Jermaine Defoe finding Cole. Carrick. Sinclair. And away by Konchesky.
The crowd are not happy with Sinclair's throw-ins, are they? That's the second occasion they've shouted for a foul throw.
Hopefully Scott Parker's injury not as bad as might have been feared. We're saying it's evenly poised, and look how much of it has been played in the midfield. Charlton with a slight edge on the offensive. Luke Young to Johansson. That's broken off Christian Dailly for the throw-in.
Was that a throw-in or was that a corner? I think the decision has been given as a corner. Konchesky's going over. Yes, it's a corner.
Yeah. Konchesky the taker. Away by Lomas. This is Euell. Kinsella going all the way back. Here's Powell de Canio. Cole. Canio leaves it for Christian Dailly to get across. Here by Brown. Now Parker has given it back to Sinclair. Defoe. Schemmel. De Canio. Lomas. Carrick. It's taken a deflection on its way through, and Kiely can't prevent the corner.
Well, that would have been interesting, wouldn't it, if he'd been on target. Took a wicked deflection, spinning away from Kiely. He can't quite get to it.
Powell Defoe to Canio to take the corner for West Ham. Foxe standing right in front of the goalkeeper. The corner's pulled out instead to Michael Carrick. Shut down well by Euell. Hislop. Away by Brown, who had Defoe moving in just behind him. Incidentally, it was nothing to do with the fear of the reception he might get that persuaded Glenn Roeder to pick Paul Kitson ahead of Jermaine Defoe to partner Powell to Canio from the outset. More to do with the balance of his strike force, and certainly his decision was well vindicated with a hat-trick that Kitson has got. And still Defoe has the opportunity to make a name for himself in his return here. And here is that moment, and he takes it! Jermaine Defoe, on his return to the Valley, after his controversial departure here, scores what could be a winner on his old stamping ground.
Well, you just knew it, didn't you? As the ball fell to him, it had to be something special. It was a right foot volley, but he was up for it. The technique was there. It gets deflected. He looks at it, takes his time. It's a beautiful volley, but that's good play from Dailly. Canio wanted an easy ball given to him. Dailly was nice and positive. Goes at Euell, stands it up. It takes a deflection, falls invitingly to young Defoe. There's a long time to look at it. Gets his body in the right position. Lovely body shape and a terrific volley to give West Ham the lead. But can they hold on to it?
Well, each team has now held the lead twice. Charlton get back into it again. Klaus Jensen, it deflects on its way through. And Hislop watches it go away for the corner. And Alan Curbishley hopes that perhaps a substitution might have the same impact for him that Defoe's had for West Ham. Robinson is poised to come on. And so too Sean Bartlett. Euell is one of those coming off. And John Robinson coming on for him. And before the corner is taken, the other substitution is also now taking place. Scott Parker is going off, and Sean Bartlett, who scored in the 1-1 draw against West Ham here in January, comes on to replace him. Can he score in a 4-4 draw here? That's what Charlton are praying for. Konchesky's corner, Bartlett goes in for his first touch and certainly disturbed Hislop. Kinsella with a blast! And blocked from in front of Shaka Hislop as Charlton cause more mayhem.
Well, Hislop comes for it. He really should have caught it. I think it's Bartlett who gets up, gets the challenge in. Not cleared with any distance from Repka. Falls to Kinsella, free shot at goal.
Dailly it was who blocked the eventual effort, and Jason Euell being shown the yellow card.
Yes, he certainly committed the free kick. It was a foul, but I can only imagine that that's for dissent.
Inspired substitution that may turn out to have been from Glenn Roeder, who checks his watch. Jermaine Defoe, who came on and scored a late goal that won the match at Ipswich to earn West Ham their first away victory of the season, could possibly have done it again. Here's Johansson. Over the top.
should have done better there. Not particularly good defending from Foxe, allows Johansson in on his left foot. 2 against 2 in the box. Not a good delivery, goes behind the goal, relieves the pressure for West Ham.
Jensen, Robinson, Konchesky. Euell gets it all wrong, and it's Carrick. Jason Euell. No way through for Kinsella. Canio. It's Defoe again, furthest player forward. Still the jeers ring around the valley. He's made them pay once already. Here's Sinclair. Here's Canio. Canio works his magic. But Kiely had read the danger well.
Well, we've seen some brilliant goals tonight, but that would have capped it all. Brilliant play from Canio, surrounded by 3 players. No teammate came to give him support. He had to go alone, and he almost did it by himself.
Jensen helped into the path of Johansson. Repka had got across to narrow the angle. World Cup action coming up for you tomorrow on Sky Sports 1 with the first leg playoff of Australia against Uruguay. You can see it live from 9 o'clock in the morning, and if you missed that, there is the opportunity to catch the highlights. Sky Sports 1, 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Flick on by Bartlett. Sean Bartlett again, he's freed John Robinson. Good defending by Dailly, who got across just in time.
Yes, it was a timely tackle from Dailly. West Ham on 2 occasions in the air had the opportunity to get it away. Foxe out-jumped, then Repka out-jumped.
Konchesky. Euell and Bartlett were both in there. Cleared in the end by Sinclair to Sebastian Schemmel. Defoe. Canio. Kinsella. Jensen. This is John Robinson. Kinsella. This is Konchesky. We're moving into injury time, of which there will be 4 minutes. So still plenty of time for Charlton to draw themselves level. Johansson gets it across. They stood looking at it, and in the end it was Schemmel who got it clear, and in doing so found his own man Joe Cole. No initial urgency from him, although he again tries to pick out Canio with an ambitious ball that Brown easily cuts out. This is Fish looking for Johansson, who's trying to guide it into the path of Jason Euell without success. Cleared by Repka. Alan Curbishley, one-time West Ham player, an FA Youth Cup finalist with them back in 1975, 85 league appearances for the club, but on the brink of losing to them here, unless his team can get an equaliser in the injury time that remains. Held back by Fish. Oh, that's a magnificent goal! What a way to equalise from Johansson, his second of the night, and it's 4-4, remarkable.
Once again, West Ham don't deal with it in the air. That's been their Achilles heel all night. They failed to get it away, but you've got to applaud that. That is absolutely wonderful finishing. Fantastic bit of agility from Johansson. It's back to goal. Overhead kick. Absolutely top class.
Alan Curbishley delighted, and it's a happy valley again now. They were just a couple of minutes away from being defeated by one of their old boys, an old boy who never made it into the first team because he was so young when he left, even though the manner of his departure was controversial. But Johansson could have rescued at least a point, and it might be more. Who knows which way this remarkable game will swing yet. Still a couple of minutes left for either side to find a winner. Sinclair. And away by Bartlett. Glenn Roeder checks the watch again. Can scarcely believe what's happened. His team keeping up their unfortunate recent average of conceding 4 goals per game away from home. This is Joe Cole. To wind his way through into the area. Canio looks to lay it on the plate again for Defoe. And Kiely comes to claim it. Dailly. Foxe has to try and hold off Johansson, and the free kick is given to the West Ham player. They were living on their nerves a bit then.
Can you imagine the emotions that Alan Kirbysley and Glenn Roeder have gone through tonight?
Well, it must be difficult for them to enjoy, but as neutrals, it's been a thrilling spectacle. Christian Dailly. And Kinsella's lost out, and Joe Cole could be through here. Dailly now tries to force it into Canio's path, but he's conceded the free kick as Christian Dailly. Charlton glad of the respite, although obviously concerned for Fish.
Really has been a remarkable game. In one way, you don't want to see a loser, do you? All the players have played their part. It's been some outstanding performances. So is the referee too, Alan Wiley. He probably won't get a mention, but he's done well tonight.
Is there yet a late dramatic winner? Robinson tries to pull it back, but the flag up for offside against him. Well, that's the end of a remarkable London derby in which honours have finished even, but stories wherever you look. A hat-trick for Paul Kitson, who wouldn't have played had Freddie Canute been fit. 2 for Jason Euell. A goal for Jermaine Defoe on his return to the Valley after his controversial departure to West Ham, and 2 goals for Jonathan Johansson. Each team held the lead twice, but then couldn't hold on to it in a real nip and tuck encounter. Kitson got the first, then Charlton were 2-1 up. It was 2-all, 3-2 to Charlton, 4-3 to West Ham, 4-all with Johansson's late equaliser, and plenty more chances as well in a game that has been thoroughly absorbing for the neutrals. A point each at the end of it for these 2 London rivals, but it's a game that will certainly live in the memory. Jason Euell scoring his first goals at the Valley and playing his part in a really entertaining night here that's finished Charlton 4, West Ham 4.
Somebody get that phone. But if you want to give us a call, you can be on Sky Sports 10:30 when we're finished here on Sky Sports 1. 09009 100 200 is the telephone number. Well, what else do you expect from West Ham? And the manager of the opposition is a West Ham fan, schooled in their traditions. 4-4 at the Valley. Plenty to talk about when we come back. Terrific stuff on the Monday Night Football. Four. Who would have thought? And I think if we don't quickly have a look at the story of the game, we could be here at 11 o'clock, couldn't we? So much happening there.
It was fantastic, Richard. I mean, all right, I know there are a lot of purists, I suppose, will look at the game and say, what about the defending? What about the defending? But sometimes it takes certain things to contribute to a night's entertainment. I think if you tuned into this football match and we regard ourselves as an entertainment industry now, I don't know about you, but I've thoroughly enjoyed that this evening. It was great to see defenders embarrassed sometimes and make mistakes, but there was some wonderful finishing. Right from about the 3rd minute when Paul Kitson did that, the finishing was just of the highest quality. And all right, people made mistakes in football matches, but they don't always get punished. Tonight, we just seemed to get so.
And thank goodness nothing changed at half-time. We've got 4 goals in the first half and 4 in the second as well.
Well, I mean, between them, Paul Kitson could have had 5. Jason Euell could have had 5. The score was 4 each. It could have been 7 each. From a neutral point of view, I'm glad that no one won the game, because I don't think anyone did enough to win it. I don't think anyone was dominant enough to win it.
Nobody deserved to lose it either.
That's what I mean. So it would have been. I think you'd have really felt for Charlton had they not nicked the equalise at the end. But you know, there were just errors happening all over the place. And whereas on occasions in a football match people make mistakes, the ball drops to somebody else and it gets cleared. Tonight, lots of mistakes that were made were getting punished by goals.
What was your view on that? Didn't get a chance to ask you at half-time.
Well, I think it's a situation where if Shaka Hislop doesn't make contact with the ball, I think he's risking giving a free kick away. But I will say this, because it's a goalkeeper as well, and it's an automatic sending off, unless the referee's 100% sure, I'm happy to see him give him the benefit and stay on the pitch. Because the game never suffered in any way whatsoever because he didn't go off. I mean, decisions like this, Repka makes a bad decision, often that would have been cleared up, but tonight it wasn't. It was just ridiculous.
You mentioned Powell's position at half-time for anybody joining us late.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he might well have been given offside. Paulo Di Canio had a huge influence in the first 2 goals. 3 touches of for the first goal involved in. That magnificent pass, that beautiful ball laid in, and Paul Kitson's finish. It was a first half where I said, well, I don't want to see half-time, because managers will go in at half-time and say, come on lads, this is ridiculous. We're not paid here to entertain the fans. Tighten it up at the back. Let's make sure we nick 1 more goal and we win this game 3-2.
It also just does go to show how you can enjoy this Premiership in all its shades, doesn't it?
Well, that's what it's here for. I mean, I think there's a lot of neutrals, Richard, might have been looking at Sky this weekend thinking, oh, Charlton, West Ham, I'm not so sure about that. 2 teams nearer the bottom than the top. I just wonder what kind of entertainment we'll get. The beauty of the game that we all love is that you just don't know. You sit here tonight, and you and I sat here at 8 o'clock, and you just don't know what's going to be served up. That's the beauty of it. What was served up tonight was a catalogue of chances. 31 attempts on goal from both teams. And of that, 17 of them on target.
You forget about moments like that, and amongst everything else, that's a really good chance, isn't it?
That's a fantastic chance from Euell. And then I thought second half now, that'll tighten up a little bit, but it wasn't going to be. Lovely finish there, that at the beginning of the second half, and then we're off and running again. We just could not take our eyes off it. Trevor was right in that respect, because you knew there was another chance coming around. I said to you, I hope we'll get chances, but whether we'll get goals, I don't know. Well, we got both. We got loads more chances, and we had 4 more goals.
He's a good finisher, isn't he, Jonathan Johansson?
I think it was very good business. I watched that lad play at Rangers, and I thought he was an excellent finisher. Didn't really get a huge chance at Rangers. It was very good business from Alan Kirbishy when he nicked him for about 3 million, I think it was, at that time. And he hasn't let them down. That's what I mean about injuries for Charlton. He hasn't played in too many games this season, Johansson. You know, he's only been involved in 9 at the 11. I'm sure not finished them all. But they need him to be playing and they need him to be scoring. And when you think of Euell and the front 2, you've got your 2 front men get 4 goals between them. That ain't a bad return.
It's very good. Paul Kitson, first appearance for 21 months.
Yeah.
First goals, rather, for 21 months, and he gets only the 2nd Premiership hat-trick of the season.
Yeah.
Robbie Fowler got the 1st.
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, that is the one surprise, that there hasn't been more hat-tricks this season. You just expect that, you know, a third of the season in you'd have had maybe 3 or 4, but it wasn't to be. There again, that Mark Kinsella, I wonder how on earth he hasn't scored there. Free header, it's middle of the 6-yard box. West Ham shirts looking at each other thinking, well, who was picking him up, by the way?
Canio out Canio'd.
Yeah, even there, you see the ball come in there. Repka got lucky for me. They were so far off Johansson there. And then you think, well, he's a bit tired. They'll bring on the young lad. And then you think the story's been written. This was meant to be. This was the headline for tomorrow morning.
He did okay there, didn't he, after the switch?
I think Christian Dailly was excellent at left back. And then everyone thought, that's it. You couldn't script it any better. People would call you a liar if you put that ending. But full marks, I mean, this isn't an easy volley at all from a young lad. He waited, never rushed it, never looked hurried.
Is it the case that the longer you wait, the more of a chance it becomes?
Well, the lower it drops, the better the better the chance of controlling it. But when you look at all the shots that are in that box, and I'm talking about blue ones, Richard, that's a really poor goal to lose in injury time from a long throw. But it's what you can't take away from Jonathan Johansson is the quality of the finish. It's a superb finish. Could have gone anywhere. The most difficult skill in the book, the overhead bicycle kick, and he executes it perfectly.
4-4. Barclaycard Premiership. Southampton bottom after this weekend's defeat at Derby County. It's Ipswich and Leicester in the drop zone with them. Derby climbed out. Charlton and West Ham, no change at all. They stay 16th and 15th respectively. Ahead of them, Borough, Sunderland, Everton, Fulham in the bottom half. And of course that result tonight did nothing at all to change the top. Liverpool went top on Saturday morning after their 1-1 draw at Ewood Park. Jonathan Johansson got a couple tonight. Here he is with Jeff Shreves.
Jonathan, it was a fantastic game to watch. What was it like to play in?
Well, it was fantastic to play as well. I think at least the crowd enjoyed it. I mean, 8 goals and some great football. But of course you wanted to win the game, but I think we deserved something from it, so it was good that we got the equaliser.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that. 2 minutes into injury time when you scored, did you think you were going home with nothing?
Yeah, actually I did. When they scored the fourth, I thought that was it. I mean, and I think there was some sloppy play from both sides at times, and luckily, as I said, luckily we got the equaliser.
I'm sure you would have settled for a tap-in, but what a goal.
Yeah, it was good. It was one of those you try and sometimes it flies up and sometimes the goals hit target. So I think the first goal helped me. I was quite confident then and can try those things.
Were you particularly disappointed the fact you'd led twice and let West Ham back into it?
Yeah, I think so. I think after we scored the 3-2 goal, I think we should have eased the game down a little bit and we should have defended as a team better, and I think we should have tried to keep it. But we gave away the initiative to West Ham, and to be fair to them, they played well and scored 2 goals, but it was one of those games.
Well done, great entertainment.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And thanks for stopping. Sorry to tell you that Paul Kitson, 3 goals out of the limelight for what, some 21 months or so, didn't want to stop to pick up the man of the match champagne, which is a disappointment, but never mind. When we come back, we'll hear what the managers have got to say about it all. It's been a fabulous night in the main. 4-4 at the Valley. Alan Kirbish is waiting to talk to us. Alan, good evening to you.
Good evening.
It comes to something, doesn't it, when you've got to score 4 to get at least a point these days, it seems.
I mean, we came off and Glenn sort of was complaining about things. I said, what are you complaining about? You know, I feel a bit disappointed we haven't won it, to be fair. I know it was a cracking game and chances all over the place, but I think we had more of them. You'll have to tell me different.
No, yeah, you had more chances, I'll definitely on that. Is it the type of game, though, that you as manager and coach can enjoy, or is it one that drives you wild?
Well, no, I think that we felt it may have been an open game, just because of the way West Ham play, and obviously on the road they've let a few goals in. But to go 1 down after 3 minutes, I then felt that perhaps it was going to be, you know, very difficult to break them down. And the only disappointing thing for me is that we scored the second goal and let them back in it straight away. After that, I just thought it was a fantastic game.
You changed it at half-time, didn't you, Alan? What was your thinking behind that?
No, I changed it
just before?
After 3 minutes.
Listen, I must have been in the toilet then.
Yeah.
What did you start with then?
Well, we started off as a 4-4-2.
Right.
We felt they may have played. We've trained all week. This is what football's about. We've trained all week, thinking they're going to be a 4-4-2, and then they turn up with 3 at the back. And obviously we changed, but after the goal, really, because I felt it was going to be very difficult for us to get back in it, and we kept it like that. We matched up with them, and you know, got ourselves back in the game. And at 3-2, I'll be honest, at 3-2, I thought it was our game. I know perhaps people sitting around the way the game was going, but I felt it was our game at 3-2. I couldn't see them scoring.
That game, Alan, I mean, your home form last season was just phenomenal. Your record was great. This year, you've struggled to put it together. Is there a major difference you can see between last year's home form and this?
Yeah, I think half the team ain't playing. You know, that's been a big problem to us for most of the season. That you know, we've had a lot of injuries, and we're slowly getting some of them back. But Rufus, Kishishev, Svensson are not available. Obviously Todd, who played a lot of games last year at the moment, and you know, we're slowly getting them back. But it was a different side, and you know, I think if you look at the team that perhaps played a lot of the time last year. There's about 5 or 6 changes because we brought people in. But it's took us time to gel. We haven't, you know, I said to them before the game today, we haven't served up anything for our fans at home this year.
You have now.
Well, we have now, but we haven't won. You know, we have been, you know, really desperately trying to get some sort of form together, and you know, we need a couple of wins to get that confidence there. And I'm sure that when we do that, we'll be very difficult to beat here.
The boys commentating, Alan, felt the stage was set for Defoe. Did you fear the worst when he came on?
Well, it's obviously, you know, we had Kitson. You know, we had Kitson. He helped us go up, and as soon as he went on the team sheet, it was a bit of a surprise. But yeah, I mean, we feel a bit sore about Jermaine Defoe. We've had our say on it. You know, we felt that we should have got a lot more money for him at the tribunal, and we felt if we had done like we should have done, it may have stopped other people poaching players. He's been with us for 6 or 7 years, and you know, it's very disappointing. But we've got to get on with that. He's got to get on with his career. He's had a fantastic start to it, and you know, he's coming early to him at the moment. But I hope he keeps his head on his shoulders and doesn't get too carried away.
We talk about front men, but you must be delighted, Alan, that you pick 2 front men and they both chip in with a couple of goals each. It doesn't often happen in the Premiership.
No, it took Chase and I a little while to settle down. You know, as I said, I sat down with him in the summer and convinced him to come to us and told him about all the players he'd be playing with, and slowly he eroded from the squad because of the injury, and he's played in midfield for us because obviously the injury problems at the start of the season. We left him out, we brought him back, and you know, I think he's showing it now that he's a goal scorer.
Alan, we've thoroughly enjoyed it, and we'll very much look forward to coming back.
OK.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Well, 4 goals before half-time, which we've seen, 4 after half-time.
Well, it was just a sensational game. And all I can say is that we thought there would be chances, Richard, and there was chances. And you can't ask for any more than that when you go and watch a football match. Give us chances, be entertained, and enjoy the football. And that we got everything like that tonight.
You said you had fears that both managers would tighten things up. They didn't, or was that just coincidence?
I think that was probably that they couldn't. It was as much as the fact that the 2 teams, I said to you, I haven't seen a game in the Premiership for a long time that was was as stretched as it was, and had midfield players that were really intent in trying to go and do things positively rather than be over-concerned with doing things negatively, like defending too much. And when the game opened up like that, it was just fantastic to watch. And Alan says, I think the only one thing that Alan would help Alan is, he said that they haven't won the game, but I think had he been 4-3 up and lost an equaliser into injury time, they would have been really disappointed. His supporters go home remembering a very late equaliser and a thrilling and absorbing game.
Was the 5th goal 5 minutes into the second half, was it? It
was, yeah. And the thing about the goal, people always say, well, what happens? Things happen when a build up to a goal. How does somebody find space? Well, it involves the 3 groups of players, really, Richard. The 2 that go challenge for the ball there, eventually one's a goal scorer. The 2 that are sitting there, and the defender who's lying spare there. These are the 3 parts you have to watch of this, and watch what happens as the ball drops down. What you're going to find as these players go down is that Johansson very quickly is going to turn and start making a run in towards there, and his marker, I think it's Dailly, is just going to get caught the wrong side here. Now you see that's happened. Do you see the difference now? Now, because the defender's not there, this defender has a real problem because he's facing up the ball, he's facing up a runner who's already pointing to where he wants the ball.
And there's a nice space there, isn't there?
And he's got a real problem. And it's as simple as that. If the ball's perfect as it is, if the run's good as it is, and if the finish is that clinical, then you have got real problems.
So Charlton in front again, and then Paul Kitson came up with his hat-trick. As we said, only the 2nd this season in the Premiership.
It's quite extraordinary. There's a guy, though, as we go into these last 3 goals, whose head plays a major part, and that's Mark Fish. What the 3 goals that come up? Here's 3-3. And again, you know, people might pick the bones out of defending that, and yeah, that's fine, but let's accentuate the positive. You know, the good things and the build-ups. Now, when this ball comes over here, he just gets a little bit here. You think, what's he going to do? Is he going to go down the line? But as he comes back in, Richard, here, right here is Mark Fish. Now, he's trying to get a headed clearance, but all he succeeds in doing is helping it over 2 of his teammates' heads. Paul Kitson's foot up. Now, anywhere in mainland Europe, that's a free kick, but not in this country. High foot. Sinclair does brilliantly to keep it in play, and it's of these 3 goals, that's obviously the simplest of them all.
Right, we'll come back to that. Glenn Roeder's waiting to talk to us. Glenn, good evening to you. Alan Kirbishley's enjoyed the night. Disappointed he didn't win it, but he's enjoyed himself. Have you?
Yeah, my feelings are exactly the same. It's great for the TV, for the viewing, but for managers, I don't know. It's, well, exciting to say the least.
Are you not just a tinge disappointed that you've conceded so late, Glenn?
I think a little bit more than just a tinge, to be truthful, Andy. You know, if we'd have come over here and it's 0-0 or 1-0, it's a good away point, but when we take the lead quite late on and then they get an equaliser for 4-4, it's disappointing. But if Alan's honest, I'm honest, it's probably the right result.
Yeah. Alan said that he had to change formation and system 3 minutes into the match after you scored because he expected you to play a different system. Why did you change yours that you've been playing in recent weeks tonight?
Well, we had our first away win at Ipswich a few weeks back, and we played 3-5-2 that afternoon. So when I looked at the players who were available for tonight's game, I thought it was the best way to go.
I just wonder, you look at this game, and I know you'll probably analyse it later in the week when you get time to sit down and look at it, Glenn, but I wonder, are there things you think you have to maybe withdraw in the attacking sense of your team to stop the goals going in away from home?
Yeah, I think you've got a good point there, Andy. But it goes without saying we've got to defend better anyway. You know,
as a team?
Yeah, as a team, but in some individual performances, there's some very disappointed defenders in my dressing room, and we need to defend better as individuals as well as a team. But I agree, sometimes we're a little bit, you know, so keen to get forward that it costs us.
I just wonder, Glenn, often when you were watching a game on TV, it doesn't quite come over the same way, but it seemed to me tonight that the game was really stretched over a big area of the pitch. Was it like that down at ground level?
Yeah, very much so. It's stretched earlier than a game normally does. Quite often the first hour or so is tight, and then the game stretches in the last 30 minutes. But it seemed stretched, you know, very soon. In fact, from the time we actually went a goal in front, the game became stretched early.
What was the last thing you said to Paul Kitson, Glenn, as he went out?
If you can get a hat-trick tonight, I'll be pleased with you.
Oh, yeah.
You believe that?
Yeah, of course we do. Of course we do.
And I suppose you said to Jermaine Defoe, when I take him off, if you can go on and keep up his work, then we'll be happy with that too.
No, I said if you get a win, I'll let you off college on Thursday.
Get me the winner, son. In general, Glenn, are you enjoying it a lot more now than you were?
Of course, everyone enjoys a win or two and, you know, and good results. You know, those 2 away defeats we had on the trot were horrendous, and only people that have been in the position that I'm in would really understand, you know, how I felt during those games.
Well, you've maintained your dignity, and good luck to you, Glenn. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thanks, Richard.
Thanks, Glenn.
Appreciate it.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
So, 3-3 we left it at. Let's have a look at 4-3 for
What goal
West
are we
Ham.
at?
We're at Defoe's. We're at 4-3.
Here we go. Yeah, well, we pick up here, and if you look at Jermaine Defoe, he's even involved in... I mean, all right, we're late in the game now, Richard. The game is stretched, but you can see the huge amount of space there is. And there's 2 things happening again here. Now, as Christian Dailly brings that forward, there's no doubt in my mind that Paolo Di Canio wants the ball. He's saying, give me the ball, son, you get back and defend and leave it to an artist to go and create something. But for the first time, Christian Dailly seems to say, no, I'm having it. Look, there he was. His foot goes in to win the ball. You're not having it. And then again, as the cross comes in, I talked about the head of Mark Fish, didn't I? Here he is here, again. Ball comes in, Richard. Fish's head. Up it goes. Take your time, don't rush. Beautiful execution. And I thought then, that's it.
And I think now, I know the point you're going to make on the equalising goal.
Mark Fish's head plays a big part again. But it's amazing how football is like that. It's a long throw, and it really isn't a difficult throw to contest. What they do is, the first header goes straight up in the air. Then you get here, let me just say, Mark Fish and his marker are there. I think Trevor Sinclair. And what's going to happen just this side, you're going to get two markers that get a little bit tempted this way, away from the near post area. 2 West Ham markers. And because they get kind of attracted to the ball as it loops up in the air, they move away. There goes Fish. There's the vital touch of his head. And because they've got wrong side, they're now scrambling back. But make no mistake, that goal deserved something from the football match.
Well, we've enjoyed it thoroughly, haven't we?
knackered.
We did say, didn't we, this was the place to watch the EastEnders tonight.
Brilliant that was. That was more entertaining than EastEnders. I'm normally slitting my wrists after EastEnders.
Instead, it's just defenders tonight who are doing
exactly.
that. 8 goals in all, thoroughly enjoyable, it really was. There's more live football tomorrow morning, by the way. Australia and Uruguay playing that World Cup playoff. Sky Sports 1, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can't join us then try for the highlights, excuse me, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. That's also live on Sky Sports 1. And as we've always said, that just goes to show why you can never take your eyes off this league. It is what we believe to be the best in the world. Thanks for joining us. See you next time around.
I just